You stand at the edge of Gatlinburg's wilderness, your heart pounding against your ribs, echoing the unsteady rhythm of fear that races through your mind. The darkened trees loom ahead, their silhouettes moving like shadows woven into the fabric of night. As the sun dips below the horizon, the last light flickers away, plunging the forest into an abyss of uncertainty. There's a stark truth that hangs heavy in the air. Danger waits just beyond the perimeter of this sacred wild. You can sense it, a suffocating tension, a collective breath held within the very essence of nature. Each rustle in the underbrush sends a chill down your spine, a whisper of secrets hidden within the thickets. Your senses heighten, instincts kick in, and you realize that the sanctity of this place, once untouched by the taint of greed, has now become a hunting ground for cruelty and exploitation. You catch sight of them, a trio of poachers, their figures emerging from the shadows with a startling clarity. They move like wolves, stealthy and predatory, eyes glinting under the pale light of a dying moon. The very sight of them twists your stomach with disbelief. They stand over a cluster of traps lined with unsuspecting bait, their laughter curling through the air like smoke, wrapping itself around the trees in a grotesque embrace. You strain to hear their boastful words as they smirk among themselves, twisting the tender thread of innocence into a vicious game. "Gonna make a fortune tonight," one of them chuckles, his voice a dark melody under the blanket of the night. The thrill of profit drips from his words like venom. You can see it in the way they move, in their swagger. To them, this wilderness is nothing more than a playground, a place to pillage for trophies they can hang on their walls, memories turned to mere souvenirs of death. A wave of nausea washes over you as their laughter echoes again, boisterous and booming, callous to the cries of the creatures trapped nearby. And then, the poaching camp reveals itself to you in gruesome detail. Cages stacked haphazardly, broken and rusted. Inside, the wounded, desperate eyes of the animals flicker with a wild fear, each forlorn gaze a silent plea. You can barely breathe, your chest tight with the weight of their suffering. Once thriving, these souls are now reduced to fleeting shadows, reflections of what once was, wild and free. Muffled whimpers seep through the bars, piercing through your heart like arrows, stirring a dark pit of anguish deep within your soul. Their confinement screams of injustice, desperation thrumming in synchrony with the pulse of the earth. You stand frozen, feeling their plea resonate within you, a plea for help that you wish you could answer. A heavier silence engulfs you as you try to look away from the dreadful sight, but you cannot. The quiet screams reverberate in your ears, pulling you closer to the edge of action. Only the forest seems to know the depth of their torment. Your longing to intervene gnaws at you, leaving you on the precipice of a choice, one that weighs heavily in the balance between passivity and courage. And just when your spirit begins to falter under the weight of despair, something shifts in the darkness. A movement catches your eye, unexpected yet profoundly powerful, propelling hope through your veins. Emerging from the dense underbrush, a bear steps forward, muscular and fierce, a titan summoned from the heart of the wild. It moves with purpose, strong yet graceful, an embodiment of primal intent, and you feel an electric pulse ignite within your chest. This majestic creature stands as a sentinel against the growing shadows, its presence a stark contrast to the poacher's greed. There's a fierceness in its eyes, a guardian emerging from the depths of nature's foreboding embrace. You feel in your bones that this is no ordinary encounter. This bear possesses an instinct to protect what is vulnerable, a wild heart driven to confront the intricacies of right and wrong. The air thickens with tension as the bear maneuvers through the underbrush, muscles rippling with anticipation. It prepares to face down the threat that looms over the trapped animals, its instincts kicking into gear. You can almost hear the collective breath of the wilderness around you, holding tight to this moment, waiting to see what unfolds. The atmosphere is electric, charged with the life force of the animals, the deep-rooted spirit of the forest, all culminating in this moment of impending confrontation. Everything is at stake now. The importance of this moment stretches taut like a bowstring. The poachers remain blissfully unaware of the impending reckoning. In that fleeting moment, you realize that the actions taking place in the next few minutes will become a turning point, an awakening like no other. Nature itself stands in the balance, caught between innocence and a vicious greed that threatens to consume it whole. You know this bear's intervention could flip their narrative, reigniting the struggle for justice and balance as the ultimate confrontation draws ever closer. As the poachers continue joking and sneering at their prey, you hold your breath. The stage is set. The hunter and hunted about to collide in the most unlikely of battles, one enchanted by the force of nature itself. The awakening heart of the wilderness beats in time with your own, a primal rhythm of hope and courage poised to challenge the unjust. You wait, anticipation mounting as the story of this hidden world unfurls before you. The night envelops you like a thick fog, saturated with dread and heavy with the unsettling reality of wildlife trafficking playing out just a few yards away. You stand frozen, witnessing the chaos unfold, your heart racing as you take in the scene. The oppressive stench of fear permeates the air, invading your senses as you look upon the cages stacked haphazardly in the clearing. Inside those cages lie souls that once danced joyfully in the wild, but now only wear terror and desperation in their eyes. Each creature locked away presents a heartbreaking portrait of suffering, wide, frantic eyes pleading for release. A small deer presses against the bars, the bones of its ribcage visible as it trembles, instinctively aware that every passing moment tightens the grip of fate against its fragile form. Muffled whimpers escape from the cages, intertwining with the laughter of the poachers, a cruel contrast that cuts deeper than a blade. You feel your stomach knot as their voices rise and fall, bragging about the spoils of their hunt, taunting the trapped animals as if their lives are nothing more than a game. "Can't wait to show off my prize," one poacher declares, his voice dripping with a glee that chills you to the bone. They speak of numbers and profits, currency exchanged for life, a system mindless to the devastation it leaves in its wake. The more they talk, the more you feel a profound sense of hopelessness creeping in. With every laugh, the wilderness seems to breathe a shudder, mourning the loss of its children trapped in the echo of greed's laugh. As they revel in their transgressions, your heart aches for the caged animals, your own spirit intertwining with their cries for help. What can you do? You stand powerless in the shadows, a mere observer of this tragedy, trapped between your desire to act and the fear of the repercussions should you attempt to intervene. You know the scene is only a flicker of the broader, ugly truth, an underground network feeding off the misery of countless creatures while their sanctuaries transform to hunting grounds. All at once, a flicker of movement catches your eye. A bear emerges from the underbrush, its powerful figure a thunderous contrast to the grim stealth of the poachers. Muscles ripple beneath its thick fur, and you instinctively hold your breath, a flash of recognition igniting within you. This creature of the wild is no passive observer. It is alive with purpose, a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. The atmosphere shifts. The air buzzes with an electric tension as the bear steps into the clearing. You don't need to be closer to sense the resolve and ferocity emanating from it. Your instincts are sharply attuned, recognizing the gravity of this moment. The poachers swallow hard, their laughter dying on their lips as they turn toward the looming figure, an embodiment of retaliation. You can almost see the shift. Their bravado steals away, replaced by confusion and possibly fear. Every muscle in the bear's body is coiled as it sizes up the threat. You watch, breathless, as it begins to circle the periphery, moving stealthily through the dense underbrush. A strange sense of hope blooms in your chest, perhaps because you can now believe in a chance for justice, for a reckoning that may overturn this horrific exploitation. The bear pauses, the moonlight catching its eyes, fiery and unwavering, alive with the spirit of the wilderness. Caught between anticipation and anxiety, you feel an underlying energy ripple through the surroundings. The forest holds its breath like never before, united in the understanding that something monumental is about to happen. Hidden in the shadows, you root for the bear, desperate to see the unfolding of this moment, yet painfully aware of the danger it faces. Nature itself seems poised on the edge of transformation. The poachers, still recovering from their shock, begin to mumble nervously, checking their equipment, but you see their apprehension grow. The bear draws nearer, and with its purposeful gait, it lends a palpable sense of urgency to the air around you. This dance between predator and prey is on the cusp of erupting into chaos, one that could reclaim the essence of the wild or seal the fate of its innocent inhabitants in regret. You hold your breath, feeling the tension thrum through your veins, aware that whatever unfolds next hangs in a delicate balance. It's a pivotal moment in the heart of this unseen battle between innocence and greed. The forest silently prays for courage as the poachers continue to underestimate the power of the wild around them, unprepared for the force of nature itself, shaping this very scene. Then the tension snaps. A growl erupts, deep and visceral, shaking the ground beneath you. The poachers spin around, fear rapidly replacing their arrogance as the bear's voice carries through the night, a powerful declaration of war against those who dare weigh greed above life. It sends a shockwave reverberating through the air, an unmistakable signal of both vengeance and liberation stirring in the wilderness. This moment transforms before your eyes into something beautifully raw and powerful. You realize, in just a heartbeat, that this is more than a rescue. It is a reclaiming of dignity for those whose voices have been silenced. You watch in awe as the bear, fueled by instinct and an unwavering heart, prepares to confront the poachers, and you finally believe hope rises anew amidst the shadows of despair. The bear stands poised and powerful, its growl resonating like rolling thunder through the clearing. The sound echoes off the trees, vibrating deep within your chest, a primal warning to all who tread on sacred ground. The poacher's bravado falters, replaced by fear as they draw back, their weapons held tightly but trembling in unsteady hands. You can see it in their eyes, the realization that they are no longer the hunters. They are now prey. With a swift motion, the bear lunges forward, its massive frame moving with an agility that belies its size. The dense underbrush parts beneath its powerful paws as it charges. An electric pulse reverberates through the forest, and in that heartbeat, the air thickens with anticipation. Tension hangs like a taut wire, ready to snap. Your heart races, caught in the crossfire of instinct and empathy. One of the poachers drops his weapon, and the sound of metal clattering against the ground echoes sharply in the night. It's a sound of defeat, a single note of surrender that resonates through the anxious silence following the bear's growl. Another poacher, shaking, shouts, "Get back!" But there's vulnerability in his voice, revealing the thin veneer of courage that has been stripped away. The bear, now in full view, presents a majestic sight, a living embodiment of strength and ferocity, yet there's an undeniable grace in its movement. It rears back, towering over the poachers, a titan emerging from the heart of the forest, roaring a fierce declaration against the abhorrent acts they practice. The first poacher regains his composure, raising a tranquilizer gun, sadly underestimating the bear's intent. You want to scream, to warn him, but your voice is lost in the chaos of your racing thoughts. Before the trigger can even be pulled, the bear's instincts kick in. It lunges with speed and precision, crashing into the poacher like a storm unleashed. The impact is a symphony of primal power, the bear's fury resonating through the clearing as the poacher is knocked off his feet, the weapon scattering from his grasp. The other two men stare, frozen in disbelief, as they bear witness to the raw spectacle of nature reclaiming its dominion. The forest holds its breath in unified awe, every creature sensing the tide turning in favor of the voiceless. It's a breathtaking moment where you realize that the balance has begun to shift, a force within the wild rising to confront the darkness, threatening to consume it. In that flash of chaos, you could almost see the bear processing the situation, sensing the vulnerability of the caged animals behind it. The bear doesn't retreat to bask in its victory. Instead, it pivots to the left, charging towards the cages, vigilant, determined. With movements as fluid as water rushing over stones, it darts to the nearest cage and begins to claw at the bars, strong limbs throwing themselves against the encasement designed to oppress. A wave of desperation floods through you as the bear's powerful claws scrape mercilessly against the rusty bars, setting off a cacophony of rattling metal. The trapped animals stir in confusion, yet find courage in the presence of the bear, a beacon of hope nestled amongst despair. Onlookers watch in awe-stricken silence, paralyzed both by fear and the epic confrontation playing out before them. "No!" one of the remaining poachers shouts, his voice laced with desperation. The balance of control is slipping away, his bravado cracking under the weight of a force greater than he could have ever anticipated. He takes a step back, hands trembling as he realizes they are no longer in control of their own fate. It's a poignant moment, a reckoning that unravels the tapestry of thoughtless greed. They've come to steal life, but nature is here to reclaim it all. And then, as you hold your breath, you can see fury crackle through the air, converting into raw energy. As the bear uses body weight and strength, the clearing bursts to life. Sounds erupt, the cries of the animals growing louder, emboldened by the unfolding power of the wilderness. More cages shake loose as the bear wrestles with one of them, metal groaning in protest at the energy pulsating behind the bearer of this rebellion. An explosion of sound fills the twilight. Suddenly, metal snaps away and the first cage swings open. The small deer leaps from the confines of its torment, legs channeling their long repressed strength as it bounds toward the safety beyond the immediacy of danger. You see hope flicker in the eyes of the other prisoners, so bright and fragile, igniting within them the will to strive for freedom. The remaining poachers turn tail to run, fear turning their bravado into ranks of sheer panic. They stagger back, disorientated, their feet moving but minds lagging behind in disbelief. They've lost their sense of dominion, shifted from predators to prey, swallowed by the nightmare they unleashed upon what they thought was defenseless. You feel the world around you shifting, the balance returning to wildness, reclaiming what was stolen. The bear stands tall, a guardian reborn, an agent of nature reminding everyone that the wild will not cower in submission. You're locked in place, suspended between awe and relief, watching as the bear calls forth courage, breaking down the barriers of fear. In this moment of triumph, when the earth itself seems to sigh in relief, you become acutely aware of your role in this narrative, not merely an observer, but a witness to a beautiful reclamation. The bear's act of courage shifts the tide, creating ripples of hope for each living creature bound by fear, a reminder that nature itself can wield strength beyond comprehension when all seems lost. In the aftermath of chaos, a surreal quiet blankets the clearing, pulsating with a sense of newfound freedom. The last echoes of the poachers' panic fade into the night, their frantic steps retreating into shadows. You inhale deeply, your chest tightening as a rush of emotion washes over you. The forest seems to exhale alongside you, releasing the weight of anguish that had anchored it down, a heavy mantle that now cascades away. This is the moment, the stark contrast of danger and deliverance, the battle won against indifference. The bear, the guardian of the wild, stands firm amidst the fray, its breath heaving with the remnants of the adrenaline coursing through its veins. You gaze into the depths of its intelligent eyes, those calm pools of strength that reflect the essence of survival. In that calculated stillness, you find a beauty that transcends the chaos. The bear epitomizes resilience, a fierce protector born not only from instinct, but from the soul of the forest itself. Slowly, the first freed animals gather near the bear, nudging it with hesitant gestures of gratitude. The small deer, which only moments ago was a prisoner, now stands tall at the forefront, eyes bright with relief and wonder. You see its heartbeat quicken, the pulse of vitality reignited by the embrace of freedom. It takes a tentative step forward, glancing back toward its liberator, who remains an unwavering sentinel amidst the remnants of fear. The scene unfolds like a tapestry, a weaving of survival and empathy, the echo of invisible strings connecting each soul. You feel the shift within you. The realization sinks in that this bear's valiant spirit has breathed new life into the heart of the forest, igniting a spark of hope amongst the weary. It dawns on you that this moment is more than an isolated act of bravery. It is an embodiment of nature's relentless desire to protect, to reclaim the sanctity of its inhabitants. As you observe the small group of newly freed animals finding solidarity in shared liberation, reflection pulls you deeper into the gravity of the situation. It brings forth an understanding. This event is not merely about confrontation, but rather about prevailing against the enormity of greed and indifference. The poachers were faced with the sheer force of nature's resolution, a reminder that one's actions have consequences, that the line between predator and prey can blur when vulnerability is threatened. The bear turns to you, its gaze piercing yet somehow reassuring. In that moment, you feel an intimacy with this magnificent creature, a bond that transcends the boundaries of species. There's a silent acknowledgement that together, you've witnessed the stirrings of justice. It holds an unspoken truth you now carry with you, a revelation finely spun into the fabric of existence. The wild is not just a place to explore, but a realm that demands respect, reverence, and protection. Yet, as you stand immersed in this profound realization, a wave of sorrow washes over you. The impact of the poachers' actions lingers like shadows at dusk, a reminder that their defeat does not erase the wounds inflicted upon this land. The forest is a living, breathing entity, and like any wounded soul, it requires healing. You realize that this is a point of reflection for everyone. Those who stare into the wilderness, those who make choices, each with power that can tilt toward destruction or embrace the ethos of stewardship. As you reflect, the bear walks forward, leading the small procession of liberated animals into the heart of the forest, guiding them away from the echoes of suffering toward the whispers of renewed life. You follow closely behind, enveloped in the embrace of the wilderness. With each step, a surge of hope feeds your soul. It intertwines with the energy of nature, revitalizing the connection between heartbeats and roots. Emerging from the dense thicket, a symphony of sounds greets you, the soft rustle of leaves, the gentle sway of grass, and the sweet melodies of birds returning to their perches. Nature breathes again, drenched in the glory of freedom. As the sun begins to cut through the trees, fickle rays of dawn creep into the forest, illuminating the path ahead. You sense the end of one story and the beginning of countless others, a mosaic of life unfolding around you. The bear stands tall amidst its new companions, beacons to lost souls and vanguards of a legacy that must endure. You imbibe the significance of your encounter. The courage framed in this unfolding narrative serves as both a call to action and a reminder of balance. It speaks volumes to the hidden dynamics of predator and prey. Those who protect, and those who threaten their existence. Everything you've witnessed brings forth a wave of responsibility crashing against you, urging you to share this story, to amplify the voices of those who cannot speak. You realize the power of awareness, transforming perspectives, igniting compassion in the hearts of others. It is a collective journey toward harmony, where understanding fosters alliances, linking humanity closer to the wild. As you watch the bear lead the small herd into the embrace of the forest, a profound emotional connection remains woven in the fabric of your being. You are not an outsider witnessing an adventure. You are a part of something larger, a movement breathing life into justice, hope into despair. With this revelation echoing within you, you carry forth the spirit of this bear, the wild, and the stories that weave through their very essence. Your heart swells with gratitude for this moment of clarity, knowing it will guide your path as you navigate the intricate world beyond. A small yet indelible truth settles within you. The wild will always rise again, not merely as a testament of courage, but as a reminder that guardians exist within us all. As the sun rises higher, casting golden light across the glade, you feel the pulsation of life all around, a heartbeat shared among trees, creatures, and earth. The forest vibrates with stories reborn, leaves and branches whispering of unity, resilience, and the steadfast bonds formed in the crucible of hardship. Every freed animal that escapes the clutches of captivity becomes part of this vivid tapestry, a narrative woven with courage and resolve. One gaze from the bear strikes a chord within you, a connection that transcends boundaries. And yet, in the warmth of this freedom, a chill creeps in with the knowledge that the threat still looms. The sinister shadow of poaching has not vanished. It quietly lurks. You ponder the cost of this victory and the reality that countless animals continue to suffer in unseen corners of this world. You understand that this triumph mandates vigilance, that the sanctity of life must be reclaimed, and that the stories of the silenced must resonate louder than ever. A realization settles in. You are called to be an advocate for these guardians of the wild, weaving their narratives of hope and courage into the collective consciousness of humanity. Awareness has power. It transforms perspectives and ignites compassion in the hearts of others. It is a shared journey toward harmony, where understanding cultivates alliances, knitting humanity closer to the wild. As you follow the bear and its companions into the heart of the forest, thoughts of advocacy swirl like leaves in a gentle breeze. You reflect on the camera you once used to capture fleeting beauty, now transformed into a tool for revealing truths. It is your responsibility to convey the struggles and victories of nature and foster understanding, as these stories intertwine with human existence. Time blurs as the forest envelops you. Each moment feels like a meditation, breath mingling with the hum of life around you. The moments of silence are filled with sounds, the rustling leaves, the chirping of birds returning to their homes, the soft trickle of water flowing nearby. Each sound imprints serenity onto your heart, awakening in you a growing commitment to share this truth. Gazing at the clear water of a small stream, you drink deeply, letting its clarity revitalize your spirit. Each sip serves as a reminder of your mission, to carry forth the wild stories of resilience. The animals splashing in the stream, free at last, embody the vibrant pulse of life and the unwavering connection between species. A specter of sorrow blankets your heart as you reflect on the enduring impact of poaching, a darkness still cast over many. You recognize the urgency of preserving what remains, defending nature as it defends its own. Within the glade, the air crackles with truths, urging you to be their voice. As you walk farther into the forest, the bear stands tall amid its companions, embodying a beacon of hope. The sunlight filters through the leaves, illuminating the path ahead, revealing a sanctuary where laughter and joy mingle in the fresh air. Their expressions are jubilant. Each step taken is a stride toward reclamation. You breathe in the crisp aroma of earth and leaves, invigorated, determined to relay the knowledge earned through this journey. You are an ambassador of these wild places, renewing a promise to amplify their plight, to spotlight the guardians they have become. As you step back into the human world, a silent mantra lingers in your mind. Nature fights not just to survive, but to inspire. The battle against apathy carries on, but you now recognize that change can rise from even the smallest gestures. Every action, every story shared can kindle a spark that ignites awareness. With each heartbeat echoing the memories of the wild, you form a commitment to lead others toward understanding. You will be part of a larger movement, together with all who care for the fragile balance of life. The forest holds shadows, but they are more than whispers. They are invitations to uncover the stories woven within. As you navigate life beyond the trees, the lessons learned crystallize into a singular truth, a duty to amplify the forgotten voices, to awaken the guardians within your community. You tread forward with purpose, carrying the essence of this journey into every encounter, and encouraging those around you to become protectors too. The wild is resilient, a testament to courage, standing tall as a reminder that guardians exist within us all. Your heart beats in sync with the rhythms of nature, and as you commit yourself to this cause, you recognize that the forest calls each of us to rise and honor the sacred dance of life, one story at a time. Together, you will ensure the wild will not just survive, but thrive, and you will be part of that enduring legacy, the guardians among guardians. In the days that follow your return, you find yourself drawn repeatedly to the wild places you once traversed. The pull of the forest is magnetic, like an unseen thread connecting your spirit to the heart of nature. Each dawn finds you awakening to the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves, your mind buzzing with ideas, reflections, and a newfound sense of purpose. You decide to take action, gathering stories, images, and first-hand accounts from those who share your passion for wildlife protection. Your camera clicks away, capturing moments frozen in time, the vibrancy of life reflected in every photograph. You meet with fellow advocates, volunteers, and local organizations dedicated to preserving the very landscapes you've come to cherish. Together you form a coalition, an ensemble of voices bound by a shared love for the wild, each member a heartbeat in the collective effort to protect what remains. With every meeting, tears are shed for the losses felt, yet laughter and determination fuel each discussion. You realize that solace can be found in unity. Those who stand together become fortresses of hope, rallying against injustice while echoing the cries of the voiceless. The stories of the bear, the liberated creatures, and the harsh reality of poaching weave themselves into a narrative that longs to be heard. In late afternoons, you set out to speak to communities, schools, and local gatherings. With palpable passion, you share photographs of the bear standing proud, the joyful faces of liberated animals, and the serene beauty of reclaimed land. With every word spoken, you can see eyes widen, a flicker of recognition sparking within each listener. You turn the transient moments you witnessed into tales of inspiration, urging the world to witness the guardianship that resides within nature. Every creature, though small, holds power, you proclaim. Together we can forge a path that protects not just the bear, but the entire ecosystem, the web of life that exists beyond our sight. We must act as stewards, pledging to honor and preserve the beauty of our shared home. The resonance of your words swirls through the air like a whispering wind, and in that shared silence, you feel the shift taking place. People begin to rise, young children leaning forward with curiosity, teenagers taking photographs of their own, and adults nodding with resolve. A collective desire for action buds like fresh leaves unfurling to greet the sun. In the weeks that follow, you organize cleanup events in local parks, nature walks to educate attendees about native wildlife, and gatherings where people can share their own stories of connection with the wild. Each event becomes a sanctuary of shared experiences. Connections bloom among participants with different backgrounds, uniting under a common cause. The ripple effect of your grassroots movement begins to unfold, revealing stories of other guardians springing up in different corners of the community. Individuals commit to supporting local wildlife shelters, volunteer for conservation projects, or begin to adopt sustainable practices in their daily lives. The momentum swells, like waves crashing against the shore, refusing to recede. One crisp evening, you revisit the forest, the very heart of your inspiration. The sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, a perfect backdrop for the gathering you've arranged. A bonfire crackles, illuminating the faces of those around you, friends, neighbors, and newfound allies, each radiating a shared purpose. As stories of wildlife protection are exchanged, you recount that fateful day when the bear stood guard, reclaiming lost dignity and injecting hope into a world threatened by neglect. "Let us be like the bear," you say, voice steady and unwavering. "Let our hearts be fierce, our resolve indomitable, and our actions guided by empathy and awareness. Together, we will ensure that every creature has a voice, that their stories do not remain silenced." As you look around, you witness the emotional commitment reflected in their faces, each person becoming a beacon of hope, a guardian stepping forward to join forces for a shared cause. The atmosphere buzzes with excitement. The air is thick with promise, the flames of the bonfire mirroring the burning passion igniting within each soul. You realize that this journey surpasses the singularity of your experience. There are countless bears, countless rescues, and countless stories lost amid the shadows. This movement serves as a reminder that every one of us possesses a voice capable of igniting change, a responsibility to rise against the currents of indifference. As the evening unfolds, you share a quiet moment with the forest around you, its verdant embrace alive with the sounds of nature, like a soothing balm over your heart. A mesmerizing chorus of crickets begins to play, punctuated by the distant calls of owls. The forest is alive with energy, and you feel a profound connection to the very essence of existence. In that moment, a thought solidifies in your mind. This is not an ending. It is merely a continuation of the narrative. The long shadows of darkness may never wholly dissipate, yet the light ignited through collective action casts hope upon the path ahead. Together you inch closer to a legacy that transcends individual stories, becoming part of a larger guardian narrative, one that reverberates through time, echoing the timeless truths embedded in every leaf. And you're at the very heart of it, an essential thread woven into the rich tapestry of the wild. As the embers of the bonfire flicker and fade into the night, you sense a shift in the air, a depth of understanding settled among the gathering. Each face glows with awareness, each smile embodies commitment, and you can feel the collective heartbeat of change pulsing in rhythm with the whispers of the forest. The laughter of friends mingles with the chirp of crickets and the rustling leaves. In this sacred moment, you realize that stories are not just told, they are ignited, sparking a wildfire of intention that grows stronger with every passing day. Weeks blend together as the movement gains momentum. News spreads through local media, stories shared across social platforms, and communities rallying for wildlife protection. Your words echoing through these channels like ripples across a pond. Your voice becomes a vessel, carrying the narrative of the bear and the countless others still silenced by injustice. An infusion of energy sparks in your veins, and you commit to ensuring that every voice resonates far and wide. Every tale of triumph and struggle finds its place in the light. One afternoon, you take a trip to the local community center, excited for the presentation you've organized, a space where wildlife enthusiasts and the curious converge. As you set up the projector, you pause to admire the stunning images of fatefully freed animals and the beauty of the wilderness gracing the slides. This visual testimony encapsulates lives rescued from despair and the bonds formed between humans and their wild neighbors. When the time comes, the room fills with familiar faces and new, eager participants. You stand before them, your heart thrumming with anticipation. As you share the story of the bear, their courageous stand as protector and guardian, you see eyes widen. Murmurs of disbelief, awe, and empathy ripple through the crowd. Your words bring the wild into the everyday lives of those gathered, allowing each of them to feel the pulse of urgency reverberating from the heart of the forest. Each story shared, you explain, is another thread in our tapestry of hope. But together, we can weave something greater, something unfathomable. We are not merely passive observers, we are participants in a grand narrative of connection. In this space, you highlight the simple yet powerful actions that ripple outward. Clearance of plastic found along trails, the sheer act of educating others, lobbying for local conservation initiatives, and even just speaking out. Each moment holds weight. Each gesture can ripple outward, similar to the journey of the bear. The discussions unfold, voices rise and mingle, the anxious murmurs speaking of local animals on the brink of disappearance, heart-wrenching tales of entire species losing their homes to development. The audience begins to understand. The energy in the room shifts, a commitment blossoming from shared stories and shared concern. A few weeks later, as the season shifts into fall, the leaves transform into a brilliant tapestry of reds and golds. You decide to host a community hike, a chance for everyone to reconnect, not just with each other, but also with the preciously fragile ecosystems surrounding them. Armed with laughter, enthusiasm, and notebooks, you guide the group through the trails that cradle the memory of your first encounter with the bear. The sun filters through the canopy, sending dappled light dancing along your path. You recount the tales of liberation and resilience of the animals that inhabit this landscape. Bear families, elusive bobcats, and the iridescent wings of migrating butterflies. Each story woven into the fabric of the hike becomes a moment of connection, a heartbeat echoing the guardian message. As the group steps lightly through the underbrush, those around you begin to share their own experiences with the wild. The joy felt when spotting a deer, the heartache when witnessing a dwindling bird population, and the determination to stand in solidarity with those who cannot speak. The forest becomes a sacred classroom, teaching lessons not just about survival, but about coexistence. Towards the end of the hike, you lead everyone to a breathtaking overlook, a vista that unfolds like a living mural. The forest sprawling out in a tapestry of vibrant colors, a reminder of nature's beauty and resilience. You gather everyone in a circle, the atmosphere electric with anticipation, the shared smiles warm against the crisp air. Breathe this in, you tell them, voice filled with conviction. This is what we're fighting for. This ecosystem, this intricate web, connects us all. Remember the bear, and remember that we are guardians of these wild places. It is our duty to protect both their freedom and ours. As the sun begins its descent, painting the sky a brilliant blend of crimson and violet, you hold a moment of stillness, inviting contemplation. You want them to understand the profound responsibility you all share. Their presence here is indicative of change and is a testament to what collective action can achieve. With a heart full of gratitude, you leave the trail behind, knowing the passion ignited among this community won't die quietly. It will spread like wildfire, lighting up hearts and minds beyond what you can envision. The bear's legacy powers this movement, a symbol unfurling wings beyond the bonds of nature and humanity, transforming fear into action. Your role has evolved. You are now not just a witness, but a beacon, illuminating pathways forward. As dusk settles and stars twinkle into existence overhead, you smile knowingly. The work continues, the stories will live on, and the guardianship of nature is an eternal flame burning brightly within you. Together, through laughter, tears, and unwavering resolve, you walk this journey, side by side, towards endless horizons where every creature can roam free, a world where every voice is cherished. As the weeks pass, the movement you sparked begins to gain momentum, cascading through the community like sunlight filtering through the branches of a forest. People who once felt disconnected from nature are finding their voices, and every conversation holds the promise of change. You feel this energy flowing through you, invigorated by the collective spirit of determination surrounding the cause. Your gatherings evolve into regular meetups, spaces filled with passionate exchanges and inspired ideas. Local businesses embrace the movement, transforming themselves into advocates for wildlife protection. One cafe showcases photographs of local animals, alongside stories highlighting the environmental challenges they face, inviting patrons to engage deeply and think critically. The excitement builds as you begin organizing a large-scale community event, a wildlife festival, a celebration of nature, and a call to protect it. Each detail is crafted with intention: food trucks featuring local ingredients, engaging booths filled with information about local wildlife, and music to amplify the joy of gathering. Flyers sprout across town like wildflowers, and social media buzzes with anticipation. On the day of the festival, the morning is crisp, and the atmosphere is electric. You arrive at the park early, breathing in the scent of blooming flowers and freshly cut grass. Vendors set up their booths, and laughter rings in the air, children racing around, each one a hopeful reminder of the future you are fighting for. As families start to gather, you glide through the event, offering words of welcome and encouragement. The community buzzes with energy, their conversations a tapestry of hope and shared stories. Your heart swells as you watch familiar faces. Friends, families, and neighbors come together, drawn by a common cause. When it's time for you to take the stage, you feel a wave of nerves, but also an empowering sense of purpose. As you look out at the crowd, smiling faces, eager eyes, you are reminded of the path that brought you here. "Thank you for being here," you begin, your voice warm and steady. "Today, we celebrate not just the beauty of nature, but our commitment to protect it. Together, let's honor the bears, the deer, the owls, all the guardians of the wild." With every word, you see the energy shift. People lean forward, captivated. You share stories, tales of the brave bear who stood for justice, each narrative a testament to resilience. You emphasize that every small action, every shared experience is part of a greater movement toward awareness and change. As you gather pledges from attendees, you see individuals stepping forward, ready to make commitments to protect their local wildlife. They attach beautiful paper leaves to a towering tree structure, a physical representation of the promises made today. Each leaf reflects a heartbeat of dedication, and you can feel hope swelling in the air. As the sun begins to dip in the sky, you invite attendees to share their own stories about their connection to the wild. Laughter and heartfelt tears fill the space, resonating like echoes among the branches. This gathering is more than just a festival. It's a declaration of unity, a recognition that the fight for nature requires the passion of every individual. As darkness embraces the park, twinkling lights illuminate the booths. People dance, laughter fills the air, and families come together under the stars, a living tapestry of connection. You take a moment to look around, each face reflecting commitment and joy. You feel a sense of belonging, a realization that together, you are forging a path toward a flourishing future. At the end of the night, you walk away from the festival filled with a profound sense of accomplishment. The day leaves an imprint on your heart, a reminder that collective action can spark real change. You remember the bear and how its legacy has become a beacon of hope for so many, transcending the boundaries of nature and humanity. As you reflect on the journey thus far, you recognize that your role has grown. No longer are you merely an observer. You have become a guardian of stories and a driving force for action. The bonds formed today will strengthen with time, intertwining like roots seeking sunlight. With the stars shimmering above, you look toward the horizon. The journey continues, and you are ready for the challenges that lie ahead. The legacy of the bear, encapsulating resilience and courage, fuels the passion within you. Together with your community, you will ensure that every voice is cherished, every creature protected, and the wild given its rightful place in the symphony of life. You step forward, a renewed sense of purpose guiding you. The narrative of guardianship does not have a single endpoint. It unfolds like the leaves on the trees, vibrant and ever-growing. Each day is a new chapter in the story of connection, and you are determined to keep the flame of hope burning brightly in the hearts of all who care. Together, the guardians of the wild will illuminate the path ahead, each step a testament to the beauty of coexistence and the power of community. As the months slip by, the community's commitment to wildlife protection grows, becoming a vibrant tapestry of shared purpose. The Wildlife Festival has morphed into a cherished annual celebration. People gather not just to remember, but to act. Each year, the attendance swells, with families bringing children eager to learn, and local artists showcasing their work inspired by the land. Buzzing with excitement, you marvel at how everyone has embraced the role of a guardian. You spearhead projects designed to deepen this connection. Workshops unfold in local schools where students, full of enthusiasm, explore their surroundings. Let's create art about what we love. You challenge them, and their responses blossom with creativity. Their drawings of bears, birds, and blooming flowers light up the classroom like the sun breaking through clouds. It's beautiful, each piece a reminder of their innocence and their budding awareness of nature's fragility. One afternoon on a field trip, you hike with a group of wide-eyed children. As you navigate the woodland trails, the rustling leaves cradle their curious voices, alive with questions. Suddenly, a deer appears, stepping gracefully and cautiously into view. You can't help but smile at their gasps of wonder, how they lean in as if sharing a secret with nature itself. "Look, everyone, this is a moment we'll remember," you whisper, careful not to disturb the beautiful creature, briefly revealing the magic of the wild. As the seasons shift, you witness a palpable surge of community spirit and collaboration. Neighbors come together to organize cleanup events, planting trees, restoring habitats, each effort a testament to love for the land. The small victories resonate, each piece of litter removed, and each tree planted strengthens the roots of change, binding people together in shared purpose. Yet as the leaves turn, shadows loom over the triumphs. News spreads of increased illegal hunting in protected areas. As you gather with your allies, your hearts beat in unison, a sense of urgency pushing you to act. "We cannot sit idly by," you insist, driven by an unwavering resolve. It's time to protect our wildlife, to stand as their guardians. With a united front, you launch a response program that fosters community vigilance. You invite local residents to join patrols, creating a network of watchful eyes scanning the landscapes for signs of danger. The message rings clear. Every person has a role to play in safeguarding these sacred spaces. Together, you train to identify signs of illegal poaching, sharing knowledge about the wildlife you both cherish and protect. Each patrol becomes an adventure. The thrill of witnessing nature contrasts with the heavy weight of responsibility growing in your chest. As you navigate the familiar trails, your senses heighten, alert to every sound, every rustle in the underbrush. One evening, while on patrol, you feel a shift in the air. The forest seems to hold its breath. Unnerved yet determined, you signal your companions to listen closely. Then, the shadows break. You catch sight of figures moving carelessly through forbidden territory, and adrenaline surges through your veins. You whisper commands, your heart racing as you approach with your fellow guardians, united in purpose. "Stop!" you shout, authoritative and resolute. The intruders freeze, glancing your way, their faces revealing a mix of shock and uncertainty. In that moment, you feel the weight of responsibility, a deep awareness of what's at stake. Success doesn't come from mere words, it's the embodiment of every action taken. As fear sweeps through you, a quiet strength wells up. "Protecting this land is our duty," you stress, voice unwavering. "You must leave. There are consequences for your actions." The intruders hesitate, and you sense the tide shifting. One by one, they step back, retreating before your very eyes. Relief washes over you like rain after a drought. You've held the line, and the forest breathes again. As silence settles back into the trees, you recognize the significance of this moment. You and your companions stand tall, hearts racing, a bond solidified through shared courage. Nature has offered a reprieve, if only temporary. The thrill of victory mingles with the weight of lingering danger, but with it comes newfound resolve. Even in uncertainty, you know you are not alone. With each successful confrontation, you feel the community solidifying around a stronger foundation. Inspired by the bear's legacy and unwavering spirit, you forge ahead, knowing that every step taken fortifies the ties binding you to the wild. As winter blankets the landscape, you gather the community once more to reflect on the year, to share stories, and to plot the course ahead. Their faces shine with determination, every individual a beacon of hope, ready to carry the banner of guardianship into the future. You know this fight is far from over, but fire ignites in your heart. The shared passion fuels you onward. In the quiet moments beneath the starlit sky, the whispers of the wild echo in your ears. You realize that like the bear roaming through the forest, you too are part of an unstoppable journey, fierce and steadfast, every heartbeat intertwined in a symphony of love for nature. Each conservation stride, every voice raised in defense of the sacred bond shared with the land, reflects a vibrant dance of resilience. Embracing the uncertainty of the future, you understand that the story is ongoing. With your community united by purpose and courage, you are committed to being the guardians, knowing that the legacy you nurture will ripple through generations, ensuring that every creature can roam free and every voice is cherished. Together, you will forge paths through darkness, bending toward the light of tomorrow, as protectors of the vibrant wild that inspires you all. As spring unfurls its green fingers across the landscape, there's a palpable shift in the air, a sense of new beginnings resounding through your community. The rhythms of nature awaken, and with them, the spirits of those determined to protect the wild. You feel this excitement pulse within you. The collective heartbeat of your community resonates louder than ever. Driven by purpose, you organize a community tree planting event, a day of action under the bright sun, an initiative to restore the land and send a resolute message of hope. Families gather, children bounding forward with high spirits. As you lead them down the familiar trail, the scent of fresh earth and budding flowers fills the air, invigorating the atmosphere with anticipation. When you reach the designated area, you pause, taking in the scene, a living canvas where laughter mingles with the sound of shovels biting into the earth. Today, we're not just planting trees, you explain, feeling the energy build. We're pledging to nurture this land as it nurtures us. Each tree is a promise, a symbol of our commitment to the environment. Hands join together in a rhythm of labor, and you feel invigorated as seedlings and shovels emerge from the ground. The joy of collectively creating new life is a powerful reminder of the strength found in unity. You exchange smiles and stories with neighbors, each shared moment weaving deeper ties, a beautiful tapestry of guardianship taking shape. Yet, as roots take hold, shadows linger. Whispers of renewed threats surface. Reports of poachers lurking near protected areas raise a familiar sense of urgency within you. Gathered around a fire one evening, you discuss your concerns with fellow guardians, shadows of determination etched on every face. We must be vigilant, you urge, the firelight flickering in your eyes. It's time for a community watch program to ensure these practices don't take root again. We can't allow our hard work to be undone. The group responds with resolute nods, the air thick with shared resolve. Plans are set in motion, strategies developed to mobilize the community for the sake of wildlife. Knowledge is shared, and new roles are taken on, each member stepping into their part of the collective mission. People begin to rally around the call, volunteering to patrol sacred spaces to protect the woodland they love. As the weeks unfold, you lead patrols on fog-drenched mornings. Each step feels purposeful, heartbeats synchronized to the sounds of the forest waking. You spot the familiar paths as everyone looks for signs of trouble. One fateful day, however, your heart sinks as a glint catches your eye. A metal trap concealed among the brush. Hastening forward, you gather your group. We need to remove this, you insist, the gravity of the situation weighing heavily. This trap is a stark reminder of the dangers lurking just beyond the trees. Working together, you dismantle it, pulling it from the earth as a gesture of hope, a reclaiming of space in the name of wildlife welfare. Each small victory fuels your spirit, reinforcing your belief in the community's power to effect change. Yet you know danger still lurks beyond the edges of progress. There's an electric tension in the air as your resolve strengthens against the tide of threats faced. You continue to educate the public, organizing workshops, sharing lessons about coexistence with wildlife, and emphasizing the importance of community involvement. With each session, more voices join the cause, more hearts open to understanding the delicate balance of nature. As the conversations deepen, you become acutely aware of the young minds in attendance, eager and bright-eyed, challenging the dynamics of the past. Their passion ignites inspiration, and together you form projects that intertwine art, storytelling, and action for conservation. Hearing their ideas, witnessing their drive, fills you with renewed hope. They are ready to take their place as guardians, and you realize they represent the future of stewardship. Months pass, and summer paints the landscape with its vibrant palette. One sunny afternoon, you invite everyone to gather at the park for an unveiling, a mural carrying the essence of your journey as a community. As the crowd buzzes with excitement, you step forward, feeling pride swell within you. "This mural is our story," you announce, gesturing toward the vibrant colors that reflect the wildlife and landscapes that define your commitment. It represents our collective duty to protect every creature, every forest, and every stream. Cheers erupt, and joy radiates through the crowd as they approach to explore this artistic celebration of their hard work. Children touch the painted animals, their faces glowing with enthusiasm, envisioning the majestic creatures they learned to respect. Yet in the midst of the celebration, the urgency returns. A serious alert has come through. A large poaching operation has been reported nearby. A shiver runs down your spine, adrenaline igniting within you. You quickly call for an emergency meeting, gathering your allies to strategize a response. "We need every guardian," you say, urgency ringing through your voice. "It's time to mobilize. The wild needs us now more than ever." As your community rallies, unity and resolve pulse through the air. You prepare for another confrontation, steeling yourselves for the unknown. The legacy of the bear, a guardian of the wild, whispers within you, strengthening your commitment. With courage fluttering in your heart, the forest calls you forth. Together with your community, you step into the fight once more, not just as protectors, but as steadfast defenders of a vibrant, wild world, a continuing journey filled with hope and unwavering dedication.